Hey, it's the Midnight Special Rona Cast. I'm Andrew, coming at you from a basement just northwest of Atlanta. I'm the singer for the Midnight Fires. I'm here with my other half, Mykal, and our other half on the production end, Mykal.
Mike and Mike.
Coming at you live.
Just call me Black Mike.
Black Mike?
Yeah,
call me Asian Mike.
You can be Thick Mike.
We're both. Just go Black Mike Asian.
I'm gonna call you Rice and Yams.
Fair enough.
Well, yeah, that's my intro, Mike.
No.
That's my intro, Mike.
Well, I am the other half of the Midnight Fires, and I am not the lead singer because that guy in the middle is way better than me. I play the git fiddle, and I do the composition and all that.
Yes.
And I am based out of West Palm Beach, Florida, Lake Worth, Florida. Just SoFla in general. And that's about all that there. Oh, I have my own music project too, Michael Morrison, but whatever.
Meh.
That's it.
All right.
The creamy cream.
Yeah. I'm Mike. I just know these guys because they're cool guys from my circle of friends. I'm actually they're Florida boys. I'm not even from here. I have lived here for most of my life now, though. But
How long?
15 years now.
You're Floridian. You're Floridian now.
Right? They claim me. I love it. This is my home. But if you guys want to hear some of their group Midnight Fires, I actually put a link in the chat over here. So go ahead and check that out. I want to do this podcast like weekly with these guys. If you like it, cool. Like, leave a like, leave a comment. I've got the chat pulled up here too. If you guys want to talk to us while we're doing it, talk shit back at us. We don't care. Let's see. And if you want to be a guest on the show and you know us, let us know. I can hook that up too. All you need is a webcam, and we'll talk about whatever you want. With that, I think the main topic of the evening...
The first one's gotta be...
It's gonna be, like, referenced almost the whole time, I'm sure. There we go. That bitch Carol Baskin.
That fucking bitch Carol Baskin. Tell all of the hunters to lay down their guns. Tell them not to tiger, use a little love. Bro, this dude.
Oh, you got hit that chorus.
Oh, well, we'll save it. We're not done. That's the first inch. That's fucking. But I don't know if it's the timing, but this documentary has captivated the world, man. This fucking guy is amazing. What was your guys' takes on this shit?
First of all, I was like, of course, there had to be some Florida in it. I was like, it's like Pineapple King and Queen of Banana Land bullshit. Like, I was like, no way that Florida doesn't have its fucking hands in it. And of course, first episode, Lion Country Safari right around the corner. I'm like, yep, there it is. Yeah. They didn't waste any time.
Oh.
It's those people they're amongst us. Those people are fucking amongst us. That's what's captivating and terrifying all at the same time. It's like
the amount of like normalcy in some of those, like the dude with the prosthetic legs, the girl who lost her arm, the dude with the long hair who looked like a fucking straight up 80s hair metal lead singer who was like, I don't give a fuck how many wives that guy had. Those people were like completely relatable. Like you could see them across the bar, right? And then you pepper in these fucking
what bar?
Any bar. Yeah, right. And then you pepper in these dudes who are like, okay, gay for tigers and meth, That's a whole new one. I never would have thought.
Yo, they said cocaine is a hell of a drug. Meth
Tigers
is a hell of a fucking drug.
I've
Tigers.
seen people do some crazy things for meth. I've never thought tigers and meth like that. Seems like it doesn't go together right. Like it
I'm
shouldn't
also
go
so
together.
glad. I'm so glad that in my 20s I did not know I could get a tiger for under $5,000
Oh,
because
yeah.
that would have been a fucking problem.
Like we're old. Like in our 20s, the tiger was probably like $1,500, $1,000,
Could you
$500.
fucking imagine? I
500
could not. I could not hope to imagine. Like, could you imagine getting linked up with somebody like that in your youth? One of this fucking lunatic.
Dude, I had like unlimited disposable income like 3 times in my life, and I didn't know that, and I'm glad I didn't because I don't know what I would do. Like they would be old now. They would just be giant tigers. I don't have a house.
Yeah.
I was really irresponsible. Like
You
with
just
my
be
money.
feeding them canal
What would I
ducks and
do?
shit from your neighborhood.
Where would I put them?
Yeah, no, I didn't have unlimited disposable income through my 20s, so I would have had a tiger in like a 1-bedroom fucking apartment in
Like
Miami.
the guy in New York?
Fucking, bro. I'd have been walking that bitch around Hialeah.
Like that guy in New York that like it attacked what, like the mailman or something, or him in his sleep?
Somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting fucked up by a tiger. Eventually a tiger's gonna tiger.
Yeah, man.
Fucking. Tiger's gonna be sitting there looking at you, like looking at the piece of chicken you just gave it, and fucking like, Kind of remind me of a Balinese fisherman right now. Bam! Fucking just get you. Yeah, fucking. That whole thing was a complete acid trip ride from start to finish, and like people that I wouldn't have imagined getting on board with something on that order, maybe because by virtue of the stay-at-home order for the corona. Everybody fucking knows about that fucking thing. There's a small contingent of people who are like, I didn't see it. I don't care about tigers and meth. And
I was like that. That's how I went into it. I was like, everybody's talking about this bullshit. I don't want to watch this fucking.
No, but here's
garbage.
the thing, though. They dropped the meth late in the game because, like, it was like episode 4. Like, okay, so they're like doing the whole thing or whatever.
I had my time with meth. I had my time.
So it wasn't until episode 4 that they dropped any allusion towards drugs. Up until episode 4, it was tight. Well, no, you knew it was there, but you're like, what are they going to like drop it and like make it apparent that it's a factor? But I mean, there was polygamy. There's Joe with his thruple gay thing. There was adultery, murder. There was fucking backstabbing. There was embezzlement. There was all
pimp game for a moment. Can we appreciate the level of pimpdom that this? First of all, his style was just pimp drip all day. He was like a disco ball of gay pimpdom. Okay, and he convinced not only like straight dudes, but like redneckish straight dudes, like what you imagine to be the least convincible on that, just to be like, hey, give it a taste. Come on down to the tiger.
The dude was like, "Hey,
you're not that straight.
I got this rifle here, and it's got pink camo on it, but I like it. So fuck you."
People want to make fun about it, but it's what I like. It's what I like. It's fucking like, bro, is that what you like? Is that what you like? Oh,
for meth, apparently you can like anything.
I guess so, man. I've never fucked with meth, thankfully, but. I imagine
I still have a political career I need to go after, so I'm not going to say whether or not I have.
Yeah.
But then again, probably 90% of the things that I talk about in this episode will probably eliminate me from being able to become
a prime candidate,
the congressman or a senator.
Yeah, that might be changing as we speak. What it means to be able to achieve office now that we've gotten like Trump in office in the weird way that's happened. Like anybody, like The Rock, if he runs, that's the motherfucking president. If Oprah runs, it's over. So get a good Twitter following, you could be the prez. Like that's all it is. Like that's fucking all it takes.
See, I agree with you with The Rock, but I feel like with Oprah, she would have to like run a specific platform because.
Oh yes. It's like anything else, right? You could be the best boxer in the world, but if you don't have the right strategy to win. You throw away that talent, you throw it out the window.
But The Rock could be like death to all humans and win. Like
potentially, yeah.
That's his level of dumb people couth.
The Rock could propose like a battle royale, a countrywide
Oh,
battle
yeah.
royale. Like fucking.
I'm in.
Of course.
The Rock doesn't even have to say it. All you have to do is say The Rock said it, and that's it.
Bro,
I'm in.
I'm stashing my family in a bunker and owning a state, if that's the case. If that's how it goes. I mean, I'll pick a pussy state, you know what I mean? Like Vermont or some shit, but not fucking.
That's open carry,
Damn, you
bro.
just.
That's
Damn.
Bernie's open
They
carry
fucking.
state.
They're making syrup
You
and
just
they're
played
retired.
Vermont just right
Vermont
now.
can come get some any
Well,
fucking day.
No more
Vermont,
Vermont
Rhode
for Mike
Island.
when he runs for president.
Oh no,
Especially if I'm your running mate, my platform will be "fuck you, Vermont." Fucking. I don't know why I picked Vermont.
That's Bernie's
I
state.
picked them predominantly on space. I feel like I could cover Vermont in a couple of days with the right squad of goons.
That's a lot. That's a lot of land.
Well, and clearly, if I have a budget for a military, right, I get in a couple of tigers and just fucking we're cleaning out Vermont
Tigers.
real quick.
Yeah.
A couple of tigers.
Oh man.
What kind of military? Like we should have a tiger squad. Imagine
We
they
have
get Joe out.
dolphins.
He starts heading the tiger. We did have dolphins and actual seals.
Yeah.
The Soviets had seals doing shit. You get a squad of tigers. You just drop a bunch of tigers in Al Qaeda territory. Let it figure itself out.
That just wholesale fuck things up. And just like you drop them off, and like they've got like fucking custom fitted fucking body armor, and they
Bulletproof
just go.
tigers.
They just go. They just
Mix in
wholesale fuck shit up.
mix in tigers with the people that would work at Joe's Zoo and just drop
Right.
them off.
Just drop them. Oh my god.
That's America now.
That
That's
dude.
not yours.
That dude Eric was my favorite one. I think. Where they're like, "What do you think about Doc Antle and all his wives?" And he's like, "I don't give a fuck." Fuck you. Like, or when he was in the fucking Walmart truck, he's like, "This shit's still frozen. That's going in the cupboard right fucking now." That dude was real as fuck, and the
Yeah.
dude with the prosthetic legs was real as fuck, and you couldn't help but be like, "Oh, these were people who got in a weird spot, got a
Yeah.
weird job, and fucking rode that bitch to the beach. They rode that bitch in. They didn't give a fuck." Man, what a weird fucking... And everybody got weirder. Everybody got weirder as you went. Like, even the dude who was that straight-laced, Oxford cloth, buttoned-up husband of Carol Baskin, fucking... Then they show the pictures of him dressed like a fucking Tarzan tiger with the fucking chain around his neck and
God.
shit. You're like, oh, you're
I
a
mean,
fucking freak too, fucker.
He fucking figured out that she killed her fucking husband. Of course he's like, I'm on the fucking docket. Like,
2. You know, her first husband's still missing, right?
Is he missing? Is he missing too?
They're all 2 of her husbands are missing. That's not
no.
Carol's not fucking around, boy. Carol is not fucking around even a little bit. And I love how the fucking...
That bitch.
The first ex-wife, Don's
Also buy
first
my shirts
ex-wife, is
online.
like, they're like, "Are you scared of Carol Baskin?" And she's like, "I am, I am." And you can, dude, that
That was a
fucking lady,
hardcore woman too. Like, and she was
Yes.
like, "I'm scared." Yeah.
she was a Southern lady. Like that tiger bitch is wild.
But she had like the her dead husband's like assistant. That lady looked like she had like fucked some people up. Like,
That lady looked like she really gave a fuck about that guy Don.
yeah, but
When
she,
they were discussing it,
Yeah,
she
and-
looked like she really gave a fuck about
and
things.
she looked like somebody had like tried to fuck with Dawn before, and she was like, "Well, I mean, you know, we can settle this right here." She like basically did like Mike bouncing them, like, and they're like, "Well, I can take this little lady," and she's like, "No, you can't."
Yeah, she looked like a hard lady.
Yeah,
She looked like a
she
hard
looked like
lady.
she's fucked up a bunch of dudes in her day, and she
Yeah,
was like,
she had
"I'm
a-
scared of this hippie cat lady."
Well, it's like, man, once you start realizing, like, I can feed a motherfucker to some tigers, like, you don't go backward. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, you don't fucking, that's next level. But now they said they reopened that case. That should get weird.
Well-
That should get real weird real fast.
It never was officially closed. It was just like a cold case, but like they're investigating on it again.
Well, because it makes them look stupid. Anything that sheds light, usually.
Man, they
gets
dropped the
attention.
fucking ball on that. It's like, you go,
And her
like,
brother was in the sheriff's department, like,
Mm-hmm.
and he is her alibi.
A lot of red flags.
Red, like, I mean, it's Tampa in the '90s. It's Florida in the '90s. Let's just start off with that.
Was
I
it the
lived here.
90s? I thought it was the 80s.
No, 97 is when he
97.
disappeared. So like,
97.
Oh, 80s Florida is a whole other fucking monster.
well, even 90s
That-
Florida.
I was a little boy,
80s
man.
Florida
I remember
was-
that.
I lived
Yeah,
here. I was in high school in the 90s here for like 1.5 years. And
Yeah.
like the shit that we got away with, like I tried that shit when I moved back for my senior year to Colorado. And I got picked up like by the cops all day. Like just doing regular Florida kid shit. So like what were
in
adults
South Florida,
doing? Yeah.
growing up in South Florida, you learn really quickly that the cops are busy. There's
Yeah.
bodies like to fucking bring to the morgue and shit, and they're not gonna bust you for like a weed pipe and shit like that. You find out real fast.
Yeah.
Like I've even had cops be like smack the shit out of one of your friends and be like, "Get the fuck home!" And you're like, "All right, we were
That's
committing
good
like
enough.
we were committing vehicular fucking."
No, you would get stick
Yeah.
time.
felony.
Like, that's
yeah.
Yeah.
You're like they would mollywop you to where you were like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be doing that again. Like
Right.
instead of just like fucking taking you to fucking station, processing you, you're a
Course
juvenile,
correction.
so nothing's gonna happen to you.
Yeah.
Dude, fucking you get your shit fucking beat. Like fucking and then
Course
you're like,
correction.
what are you gonna do? You gonna fucking tell your parents that you got your ass kicked by the cops? Well, what the fuck were you
Why?
doing? Because
Yeah.
parents were actually parents back then.
Yeah.
And they're like, you got your ass kicked by the cops? Well, you were fucking up then.
That was my mother's first question anytime anything happened was like, what the fuck did you do? Anytime a teacher called the house, any shit like that, it was never like, oh, my I have, family members or so whatever that I grew up around who, whenever they got in trouble, it was like the teachers are blaming them, they don't like them, and it's like, my mom would always be like, what, motherfucker? That was like her first motherfucker. It was like that fucking meme with fucking Joe Exotic where they say, how your mom talks at home, hey, all you cool cats and kittens, and how your mom talks at home. Listen up, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And my mom was the mom who would be like, oh, if you guys are gonna drink or act stupid, do it here so you don't get in trouble. And I remember one time a bunch of my friends are over, we're hanging out. This is like a weird segue, but my mother just goes like, Andrew, shut your friends the fuck up. I'm up here bleeding like a harpoon whale. And I just remember being like, Jesus Christ. And all my friends being like, what the fuck? And me being like, yeah, that's how it rolls out here, motherfucker. Like, watch out. Like, just free with it. Open, just shit talking. Fucking. But yeah, and then out in the world, like, oh, we fucking shake hands with Father so-and-so at church on Sunday and shit. All that bullshit. But that's what that whole show was to me. Like, everybody put on, like, you saw the front break down as the episodes went on. You saw the veneer that everybody put up, and then after a while you're like, oh, Joe's got a pretty significant coke pinky, fucking, and all these other little things you start to take note of, and it's like that's a lot of eyeliner for a grown man running a zoo. What's going on here?
Well, his front was the closest to who he actually was. That was my only thing.
No.
Everybody.
I think the guy with the best personality was the dude who's sitting in an office chair with the monkey in his lap when he's doing the interview, and he's the one who got involved with the zoo towards the end.
That's the realest guy. Yeah,
he was the realest guy because he's like, they're all bunch of fucking assholes. When I asked Doc Animal, I don't give a fuck about how you train your tigers, how you train these fucking bitches. That dude was fucking
that guy.
completely himself. There was no bullshit in that guy whatsoever. He was right up there with the I don't give a fuck guy.
Yeah.
Just no bullshit, no trying to come off a certain way. He's like, I got my monkey, I got my fucking beer, whatever's happening is happening. Those are the best kind of people in the fucking world, bro. I can't get enough of that shit. I wish there was 10 more seasons of that fucking show. We binged that shit in 3 nights.
There's probably not going to be a second season because I've been actually David Spade is leading the charge on interviews.
I've watched his interviews. Yeah, I've watched his interviews.
They're good too, and I really think he should play. He should play Joe Exotic. That's
yes, he fucking should.
Everybody that he interviews you should play him. You should play him.
Could you imagine?
That would be
fucking
great.
David Spade as Joe Exotic.
Oh.
Holy shit.
That would be great.
Yeah, it's such a weird little world that they opened us up to, that they showed us all, oh, counterfeit zoos. That's a fucking thing? Holy shit. That's weird as fuck.
I'm not gonna lie, I used to see those places when I would travel all over the Midwest.
Yeah.
But I didn't think they were that. I don't know what I thought they were. I just thought, I'm oh, it's probably a petting zoo. A smaller petting zoo, for
Have you ever
hillbillies
heard of the
and
legend?
shit.
Have you ever heard of the legend of the skunk ape in Florida?
Yeah,
It's like Florida Bigfoot,
Florida
right?
Sasquatch. Yeah,
So what that supposedly originated from was there used to be roadside zoos all over places like Alligator Alley
yeah,
and
yeah,
fucking like the east to west connector roads, how few there were, especially back then. And there would be these little, gator wrestling and come see shoot a wild turkey, like all that kind of shit. And there's little parks and fucking roadside attractions. And the stories would go that like motherfuckers would have like an orangutan or a fucking gorilla or a fucking chimp back then or whatever they paid, probably like $900 for back then, and in the 50s and 60s, and it would get big and maybe bite a kid's face off or something, or eat somebody's finger, and then they would feel bad, and they would be supposed to euthanize it, and instead of euthanizing it, the motherfucker would be like, I'm gonna just take it to the Everglades and let it have a chance. So supposedly that's the origin, like the realistic theory of the reason people have skunk ape sightings and have like been attacked by primates or whatever.
So there's a whole fucking simian out there just fucking roaming around.
Well, there's definitely been like monkeys and different kind of monkeys and shit found in the Everglades, and like all kind of non-indigenous shit nowadays because our drug dealers are just the most goofy. Even our like low-level ones are like, man, I'm gonna have a crocodile, and then it's like, you fucking live at your mom's house, and that crocodile gets too big for your bathtub, and they just let that shit go in the neighborhood canal. Like,
no shit. One time I was at a party,
everywhere.
and this fucking dude, PJ, fucking Kings Lamatis, fucking crazy motherfucker that got hit by a train.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fucking like anyone that's watching, they'll be like, oh, PJ, that fucking guy. This dude fucking brought an alligator to a fucking house party I was at one time. Like fucking 3.5 foot.
That's Florida as fuck. Didn't the guy rob a store with an alligator once? Like that's a thing. Like somebody give me like, oh fucking God, give me your money.
I'll let her loose. I'll let her fucking loose.
That's crazy, man.
Give me everything you got. I'll let her loose.
My old guitar player from my old band FLA fucking let go like 2 or 3 different snakes. He just became broke or whatever at some point. And he'd be like, I can't afford to buy a rat every other month or whatever. And it's like, I'm just gonna let it go in my yard. It's like, that's a Colombian red-tailed boa. I don't think that's a good idea. Like, I already did it. Fuck. Like, fuck
Oh,
it,
no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So fucking just a kitten eater loose in a suburban West Palm Beach neighborhood. Fucking, but
Oh no.
that's what people in fucking Florida do. Fucking, that's what we do. Yeah. Even as a kid, I remember several cousins having like weird pets and shit like that. Usually snakes and shit like that. Fucking somebody wants to be the snake guy, and the snake gets too heavy to be carrying around and shit. And you're like, this thing's starting to eat chickens and shit. I gotta figure out what the fuck to do with it. Like fucking let it go. There's a swamp by the house. Peace. That's how. Why do you think there's all these fucking iguanas?
Oh yeah, they're all over.
Assholes like Joe Exotic. Yeah.
That's a chicken of the trees right there.
I was gonna say, man, if shit pops off, if the recession gets real as fuck, that's it. Iguana time.
So that's where your head was at? Okay, let me tell you where my head was at. Okay. So if things get too bad, I see like these girls doing these OnlyFans things and all that stuff. And I'm like, I was thinking to myself, I was like,
you gonna start slapping?
You know what? I would never do it. I have never done it, but I'm like, I'm pretty confident that I can suck a good dick.
Oh.
Now here's the thing, like I've gotten plenty of blowjobs, and like 90% of them, 90% of the chicks that were sucking my dick, I'm like, I think I could suck a better dick than them if I had to. This is an option, like fucking things get tough, but as long as there's meth on the other side of that rainbow.
Like, I was just about to say, I know
and a tiger and a baby tiger.
That's got some meth and some tigers.
We'll save the tigers for later.
Trump's trying to get him out of jail, so I know
Is
a guy.
He really? That's
I don't know.
Fucking
probably
hysterical.
a fake story. I saw like 2 or 3.
We're gonna have to probably delete that whole dick sucking segment.
It's already like the 5 people that are watching it live have already seen it, Mike. It's too late.
All right. Well, I won't be a senator. Maybe a congressman.
But you know what? Here's the thing that I'll say to that, Mike. Everybody understands their own equipment. So I understand your logic in that. You know what I mean? You know what you like. You know what I mean? Like at a minimum, you know what you like.
But I've also challenged lesbians, and I've told them, I'm like, I can eat better pussy than you too.
Oh, you see this fucking neck? You see this fucking jaw? I clamp on like a goddamn pit bull and don't let go. I've been married a long time. How
you doing over there, Mike? You all right? Shit get a little uncomfortable for you?
Not
You
for
didn't see
me.
this coming, did you, buddy?
Not for me.
Mike likes
Not
like riling
uncomfortable
up the
for
dogs
me.
and letting
Oh,
them
yeah.
go. That's what Mike likes.
Go.
Don't you remember our last show, Michael?
Oh
Oh my God! I need to watch that because that shit.
I wonder. So, update on that. I had a massive catastrophic computer failure on my editing computer. So, I just need to get a new hard drive and everything will be fine. But I've got all the
Okay, so you didn't lose footage.
No, the
You didn't
hard
lose
drive
footage, right?
just won't boot up. So I just need to pull all the data off that and then re-edit it.
Yeah,
And lost no footage.
That's Chinese to me, partner.
I was just gonna say, I was like, you're talking hieroglyphics to our buddy there.
Want to know how to load a shotgun?
Yes, the hoops we had to go through to get this eventually was a glorious tale.
Like, once you got to the point where you're like, just answer the call, I'm like,
Yeah.
Perfect. Fucking, that's what I can
Well, I
do.
mean, like, that's all
Like,
I
you
was
mean
gonna
I gotta
have you
plug in
do.
headphones? Come on, man.
That's all I was gonna have you do on the computer too. But you're like, I've got a phone and a tablet, and I'm like, not a tablet. No, this will not work at all on a tablet at all.
I like it though because my fucking phone actually probably has more computing power than my laptop.
Right.
Well, my
That
wife
was the
has
funny
like
thing,
2 work
too.
laptops, and I just went in her office and I like just grabbed one. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm taking this." She's like, "Do you know what you're gonna do with it?" And I was like,
I'm gonna
Nope.
answer a call when my buddy calls.
she was just like, "Okay, don't do anything that won't be cool for my job to see." And I'm like, "Okay."
Too late. Too late.
All right.
Too late.
But yeah, no. As long
And I
as you
keep
know.
talking shit, but I got almost as many teeth as fucking Joe Exotic's husband right now. So yeah, I mean, maybe some dick sucking is on the horizon. Who knows?
No, I don't think they sucked his dick or got fucked by him.
You don't?
No.
Oh, you think he's a bottom? You think
Yeah.
Joe's a bottom?
Here's
I
my
do.
thing, though.
I have some
Top or
information about his
bottom or
first
whatever.
husband.
No.
But top
They're
or
not
bottom.
the same.
But
No.
top or bottom, isn't there some switching? Isn't there every now and then?
No, some people are just bottoms. Some people are just tops.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Maybe
like,
he's a power bottom. Maybe most of the
sometimes
power.
you like to be
Yeah.
choked,
comes
sometimes you
from
like to
the
do
bottom.
the choking.
No, seriously, like okay, so there's some people that are gay that like masculine guys that are in denial, but they're gay, so they're like, if I just fuck,
Oh,
a dude in
yeah,
the
yeah,
ass,
'I've known dudes.
then I'm
Oh,
not
that.
gay.
Yeah, that was
Like
one of my good
even
friends
in the
from
movie
high school.
Legend, like he never bottomed. The psychopathic insane brother. He was like, I only fucked a dude. So
You're in
I
the
mean,
shit
maybe
pushed in.
maybe the alphabet will be upsetty with what I'm saying because I may not be getting it right, but it's definitely like, yeah, there's people that only top and there's people that only bottom.
I guess. Variety's the spice of life. You know what I mean? I feel like you're missing out probably. You got to do a little. Sometimes you want to get choked. Sometimes you want to choke. Like, it's, you got to mix it up.
So
But I've been married a long time, so I try and get a little bit of everything.
back to Joe being a
You see
bottom.
this fucking neck? You see these shoulders? No one's
Oh,
choking this.
Why not? You just use thighs, bro. I'm in the same boat. You use thighs.
Oh, my.
Thighs.
What is it? That whole sit on my face until I stop struggling.
What a way to die.
Oh, that's if you're gonna go. If you're gonna go.
What a way.
Like,
That's the way I want to go. No question in my mind.
So, Joe's first husband died in 2001
Tire accident?
due to complications from AIDS.
Ooh, Philadelphia.
So, he had
wait, were they
another-
still married?
Yeah. He had another husband in between the 3 that you see on Tiger King.
Oof.
And that's why I think he's like a bottom because like
Well, he took their name, so definitely that's a more submissive
it,
act, I would say.
maybe not. I don't know, but like I don't know about
Maybe
that.
it was for tax
But
purposes.
oh, my buddy wants to join the podcast. I don't think I can crop him in, but anyway, uh,
Set him up for the next one.
yeah, definitely on the next one. But let's see, what was I gonna say? So like I think maybe like they just fucked him, you know, and like he sucked their dick because like he knew there's like no way he didn't have, you
He
know,
pull started like a lawnmower.
yeah, like he did stuff to them. He didn't, you know what I'm saying.
Sure.
I think like,
No, I don't know what you're saying.
no, I think he actually cared
Elaborate.
about them enough to where he was like married to them, so like he knew what he had, so he didn't try to. He tried to uh, not. He tried to be sexually engaging with them to give him the lowest percentage of catching what he had. There you go.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Well, that's not sex at all. Because if
So
you're
you
having
think he
sex,
had AIDS? That's
you're gonna get the whole
I mean, I
shebang
can't
from me.
say that.
like,
I mean, like I know how his first husband died. They don't cover it in the documentary, and he doesn't really say anything about it. So I can't say for sure if he had
Right.
AIDS, but like,
Or HIV.
yeah, or anything. Yeah.
if you have AIDS and you fuck someone and you're not giving them AIDS, you're not fucking at all. I'm just saying.
My. Oh my.
Well, isn't it
Like-
though? Isn't it though? If you're pitching, it's harder to get it than if you're catching. Like you gotta be doing
Yeah.
the catching is the
That's
more.
what- that was-
Why are we talking about things we know nothing about?
Well, that's actually a thing, and I bet
Where she
there's,
goes.
and I bet there's like it was as safe a sex as you can have while you're on meth, you know.
Is meth a drug that gives you a boner? Like I don't know. Like is that
Yeah,
a
like that-
hypersexual
That
drug?
hard dick meth feel. Yeah, man. That's. I mean, I would know. I don't know. I'm only speculating.
Right on. Fair speculation. That hard dick meth feel.
Raised hard dick meth erection.
Can we just make a brand name of that?
Hard dick
Dick meth feel? Well, I don't even know what would be in the container or what would be the product or the service, but hard dick meth feel needs to be a brand. It needs to be a brand.
It's,
Yeah.
we'd have to give Norm Macdonald money because I took that from him. I'd gladly give Norm Macdonald money for that.
Yeah.
That product idea, whatever it is.
Fuck yeah.
That dude, he actually has gotten funnier with age.
Oh yeah, he's a genius. That guy's like a legit. He's like him and David Tell. I think are like that kind of
Well,
special.
I wasn't too keen on him. I mean, like even like the stuff in Love Line was all right, but like he just for some reason I don't know. Like I guess that's
I think you're
that's
thinking
just
of
how
Adam
when-
Carolla.
whenever
Adam
you're
Carolla
doing
was Love Line.
That's a different person.
Yeah, you're thinking of Adam
oh shit!
Carolla.
Sorry. But yeah, no, same guy though. No, same guy. But like,
No.
it just after you hit a certain point, like you get that
Not
eureka
the same
moment
guy.
in your craft.
Not
Not
the
the same guy.
No, Adam Carolla was on Love Line.
Oh, Adam Carolla. Yeah. No,
Norm
so yeah, Adam
Macdonald was on
Carolla.
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Doing the weekend.
Got you.
update.
I'm all
We're the same
The-
fucking age. We're all the same age.
the
Yeah, I'll be 37 this year. I'm getting
the
pretty
meth or not meth I've done in my life can attribute to the memory problems. Okay.
Maybe.
You know, you gotta
Leave
be
it at that.
careful when you're talking about drugs. They're not healthy, you know.
Also, I'll just let you guys know if the stream goes down because literally from the moment that we started talking, we immediately started breaking Twitch rules as we started
Oh.
streaming.
What are the rules?
What's the rules?
No smoking cigarettes or anything.
Oh,
The cursing we've exceeded their minimum amount of cursing in the first 2 minutes. I think you had a gun on the stream.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And yeah.
I didn't see any of that. I didn't see any of that at all.
We also
It was
went
a
into
cosplay replica.
discussion. Yeah. No, people get banned for less. Let's see. And we're recording this too, and like YouTube doesn't have these restrictions. So like,
Okay.
and we also went into like talking about gay culture without anybody referencing that they have done anything like that too. So um, that's like these are all things to get banned from Twitch permanently from. But like,
Fuck.
Sounds like a lot of commie shit.
Well,
I mean,
looks like we're not going to be on Twitch then. Fuck them.
I mean, as long as nobody reports us and no random Twitch moderator is like, "What is this about?" and looks at it and they
You just
watch
came
us
in here.
and they watch
We're
it for a
already
half
on
a second and
quarantine.
they're like,
The world is on
They're
quarantine
like,
right now.
"Cut it."
Yeah.
And you just came
This
in
thing's
here
canceled.
as a Debbie Downer with all these fucking rules.
No,
even
no,
though
no.
we literally asked you to explain what the fucking rules.
Listen, the rules. I don't give a fuck about the rules. Listen, like this is gonna go on YouTube, and we're gonna exclusively stream through YouTube after this. This was just like I didn't get the, I didn't get the YouTube thing set up in time. That's all.
Okay, so who are the two people that I mixed up again?
Norm Macdonald and Adam Carolla.
Yeah, so Adam Carolla definitely. He's gotten fucking funny.
Yeah, dude, Norm Macdonald is the best. Literally every comedian, when you ask them like who their favorite comedian is, if they sit and think about it, they're like Norm Macdonald. Like after like the greats, right, of like Richard Pryor and George Carlin.
Pryor, yeah.
They're like
Pryor and Carlin are like the mandatory.
Yeah.
Like, you have to.
After you say the Beatles in music, like they're the Beatles of comedy, right? After you say them,
But they're actually good.
yeah. After you say them, like they're like it's Norm Macdonald and then everybody else. Yeah.
Yeah, I put Norm Macdonald in the category with like David Tell would be like the only other person I put at that same like where they're just whip sharp. You know what I mean? Like a lot of guys deteriorate a little bit with as far as their like their ability to like be just spitfire fast like that. And those two guys are just like you said, they're aging well. They're aging like wine.
Norm Macdonald though actually like does enough. Like him and David Tell, they have almost the exact same like view on everything, and I know they both don't give a fuck, right? But Norm does it in like he's been doing the senile old man routine since he was like 25. Right?
Yeah.
So that's probably
So
why
his career
suits.
is like so much better than David Tell, who's just like, no man, like blowjobs for crack. That's just what you do when you're in Albuquerque, like for like since like 1995,
in
like,
Kirky, in the old Captain.
But
Kirky.
I think that's him too, though. I think that's what's great about both those guys. They're just who they are. Artie Lang is another one like that, who he's like, you know what I mean? You gotta really want the smack to give a blowjob, but then you get your smack and you go about your business like fucking.
the only thing
if
about
Artie Lang's nose could talk,
oh god,
Jesus Christ, he looks like a fucking abomination now.
Would talk all
like a fucking monster. Like what?
It was so good because it got smashed up now.
Yeah, he got caved in, man. He got his fucking face caved in by a young kid.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, he owed money to somebody and so on.
No, but also he did so much.
Oh yeah, he
so
wore
much
that
suit that it just like
The kid-
deteriorated all the cartilage. Like
the kid
like he
probably
must have been
didn't even
doing
hit him that hard.
garbage shit though, huh?
The kid probably didn't even hit him that hard.
He definitely didn't have to.
No.
But yeah, he looks like a fucking monstrosity now.
Well, he's clean at least, the fucking guy.
Yeah.
Is he? Is he?
I mean, hopefully.
He's
That's
clean
the
like
rumor.
the way I believe David Tell is clean.
Well, what's sober? It's like relative to like your personal beliefs and shit.
Yeah.
Speaking of comics, any of you guys know Andrew Schultz?
Oh yeah, fantastic.
That fucking dude. I mean, like, I started watching his stuff when he actually like had sets and stuff like that he's doing, and like I know he still has sets and still does that, but the dude's crowd work is otherworldly.
Fantastic.
No, like it's next level.
No, Veloso, you said give me a joke. He has the one about like one of my favorite ones where he talks about countries with great food have like heavily oppressed. The women are oppressed. Like you need a lot of like, what the fuck is this, Marie? And flip the fucking table to get like lasagna. That good.
You
like,
call that fucking spaghetti? My nut'll be spinning around in the grave.
Oh,
yeah, so he was like, you notice those countries, That's where the fucking good food comes from. Like fucking.
The more
He's
they
like,
are in
"Have
the
you tried
kitchen,
it?"
the better the
Have
food
you
comes out
tried
of the
Middle
kitchen.
Eastern food? Have you tried it? Like fucking yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't
that
heard
dude. I hate to like say kid like, but like as far as like he's coming up on the scene, and Lord knows he put in his work. But I mean like that dude is gonna fucking be one of the greats.
Yeah,
Like
he's
you're looking
tremendous.
at a future living legend. That dude is
Nice.
like he's gonna go fucking place.
Tremendous. Yeah. No, I think man, it's only up, and right now with all this Corona shit going on, those guys' podcasts are getting crazy numbers. They're doing fucking, you know, that's the only thing they can do. Nobody's doing any kind of shows, as we all know. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, fucking, and that's a great fucking segue because we basically stopped talking about Tiger King and started talking about comedians. Fucking Corona, guys. What the fuck have you guys seen? What do you think about it? What's your opinions on the bitch?
Well, let's cut to the chase. There's a couple idiots out there that fucking think it's not a thing. Like I literally ran into someone and they were like, "I think it's a hoax." And oh dear God. Okay, so I definitely know. I know one of my former employees has it right now. 2 nurses and 1 doctor friend of mine has it. It is not a joke. And at its most severe point, just imagine drowning to death slowly out of water. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So it may not get everyone, but the ones it fucking touches with that shit, with a bad case of that shit, you fucking pray for death.
Yeah, it sounds like it sucks. I don't know shit enough about viruses and shit like that to weigh in.
The problem about it is obviously it's a novel virus, and I'm just regurgitating what actual professionals said. It's a novel virus, so no one has built up immunity to it. You don't have built up immunity. Like there may be 1 or 2 random people out there that it just doesn't affect, that they actually can't even carry it around asymptomatically. But the problem with it is that
The numbers
you could be a
disagree with
carrier of it. You could be a carrier of it and not know you have it, and you can infect so many people, and
Hopefully.
that's the problem, huh?
Hopefully.
I feel like what do you call as far as what I've seen so far, supposedly the numbers in my county, like Cobb County, Georgia, are like pretty high. We have a lot of older people. We have a couple of different retiree only neighborhoods are right around us, which I feel like that's like the prime people who are getting hospitalized with the shit at all. But otherwise, shit is like I don't know anybody personally who's been affected, which, you know, knock wood that I don't have to see anybody suffer through that kind of shit or deal with any of that, you know, in my immediate family or anything like that. But it's definitely a weird experience to see everybody's reactions be so drastically different. We got a lot of church people here who don't believe in it around me.
Oh God, look, man. I'm a Christian, even though I curse and blah blah whatever. I'm more like a Knight Templar. I'm here put on this earth to fuck shit up for the humans that don't have the backbone to do it. So I have no problem fucking gouging the motherfucker's eyes out in the name of the good Lord. But I digress. They need to fucking stay the fuck home. God is in charge of plague and pestilence, and God is not going to save you from this. Stay the fuck home, Christians. We get it. Here's the thing. You can worship God anywhere.
Yeah,
That's
God's
the
pretty
beauty.
good at killing shit.
Huh?
God's pretty good at killing shit. He's pretty
the
solid,
best.
Pretty solid record of
The best.
shit.
That's why I love that guy. But what was I going to say? Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about me personally. The thing that worries me is me catching it and being asymptomatic or just not showing any signs yet, and me passing it on to someone else, like my friends or my mom or like that. Like that would fucking crush me if they developed complications and they died from it and they got it from me. That's me. If I got it and it took me out, I'm like, dude, I've lived a fucking amazing life. I don't give a fuck. I give no fucks. But it's more about me passing it on to someone that fucking shouldn't have got it if I didn't get it. That's
Yeah,
where I'm at.
I think the last thing that I read was that we're like 98% of people are not going to be affected or some shit like that. That was the last like actual like statistic. But fuck man, you can read some other shit. What do you think, Novolozo? I see you biting your lips. I see you chewing your lips.
Um,
Come on, spit it out.
so I'm hoping that like two of my friends that are like literally in the medical profession are watching, because like I feel like what I say on Facebook doesn't like come out correctly, which is why like
No, it doesn't.
most of
You're a fucking
yeah
asshole on Facebook.
yeah like well like even to them like they're like
We
why are
say
you
the same
saying
thing,
that?
but you're just an awful person because you don't know how to say shit.
Just on Facebook. I feel like in person I do a better job of
Yeah,
communicating.
no. In person, you do better.
Yeah, yeah. So like where was I going? So like I agree with you. Like it's real, I guess, to some extent.
But it's real as
Um
the flu.
no, it's a little bit more real than the flu. But like so like here's my take. Like if you are worried about that kind of stuff like you're worried about, Mike, like about getting other people sick, then yeah, like take the proper precautions, right? And do what you need to do. But if you're a terrible person like me, like I want to go on a cruise to the Asian area, like Asian areas, right? Maybe go back to the motherland, the Philippines and China, have somebody cough on me, and then go do some volunteer work in some nursing homes. Like maybe that's what I want to
Jesus
do,
Christ.
you know? Let me, because like I say a lot of things like on Facebook, like I don't think it's real, it's conspiracy theory, and you know, like to some point, like there is some truth to like some parts of like the conspiracy theory stuff, and I'm not saying like the motives or that it's real or not, but like if you look at the number of people that die of other things regularly, that number is way down, and it's almost down the exact amount as the people that have died of the coronavirus. So like if you were gonna die,
We're just trading
one for
one
the
one
other.
for.
But the other thing is too, like there's been a lot of cases. Not let me rephrase that. Not a lot, like a handful of cases in the United States that have been reported as like corona-related deaths when they weren't. Like that infant that died, they were saying of the coronavirus. Not so
Okay,
now.
Drew. I would literally was just about to fucking be like, "Where are you at? Like, did you just catch the Rona and go down? Like,
Illicit drug use added to the charges of why we're taken down. No, no, but so like, and you know, I know my friends that are like in the medical community. They're like, you can't be saying this stuff, like, because like people do, like as much as they know I talk shit, they know I'm not like totally retarded. Oh yeah, that's another strike. That's probably another reason to get banned on Twitch. Can't say
oh,
retarded.
someone tried to fucking tone police me about using that word. Now it's like
What word?
Retarded.
retarded.
That's
Yeah.
four.
Doesn't
four
that just
times.
mean slow down?
No, held
No.
back.
Okay.
Held
So
back.
Like,
so here's the thing. I would never make fun of someone that had any mental impairment or mental disability. But if you have your if you have your full faculties and you do some dumb ass shit because you're just fucking ignorant, I'm going to fucking call you retarded.
That's the big ban forever IP address banned on Twitch word. Anyway, so back to what I was
Okay,
saying.
so
Back to what I was saying.
uh,
So with the coronavirus, right? So they tell me I can't say that because people know that I'm like not totally dumb and like I can interpret medical data and like data correctly, whereas a lot of people with like what I hate is that a lot of people on Facebook are like, "Oh, I have a degree in this, I have a degree in that." Like my ability to interpret data transfers over, and I'm like, "No, it doesn't." You know, like just because you have a degree in computer science doesn't mean you can interpret this data correctly, and they're not even interpreting the correct data. Um, like it's
but
all strange. Like So, like, when you break it down, the people that have adverse reactions in each age bracket are so small. Like, the percentages are so small, even in the elderly population. And then when you take out the elderly population above 60, like, this is a slightly worse infection rate just in general than the flu, right? And the adverse effects are actually the percentages are much lower. But and then the thing is,
Yeah,
it's
I've never
novel
seen.
too, though.
Here's the problem though. Here's the problem with what you're thinking. Have you ever seen the amount of doctors, nurses, police officers, firefighters that have to come in contact with the flu, fucking dying from it? Have you seen it? Because
Yeah,
that's what's No, you haven't.
that happens every year.
No, not at the rate it's happening right now. Like
Listen,
literally, like
my big statement about this here is if you die of the coronavirus, you were probably going to die this year anyway.
that's debatable. Anywho, let's move on.
Now,
Why?
aside,
Are we
No,
moving
but
on
here's
to
the thing. Okay,
retarded?
so you're talking about like data, being able to interpret data and all that stuff. And I think a symptom in society today, not even a symptom, just a problem is that everyone thinks they're fucking smarter than they actually are. Like that's a big problem though. Like I see like actual fucking idiots like they lack any common sense, no responsibility, no perspective,
Next topic is
no
the
empathy.
term common sense. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Huh?
now
But
aside,
it's just like a lot of people they just think they're smarter than they are, and that leads me to the next thing I wanted to fucking talk about. Let's talk about the fucking media and their absolute fucking unscrupulous dereliction of duty to society.
so
I want to see all their fucking heads on a pike.
not just
like,
the media
it's-
in this instance. Not
It's been,
just the
it's been
media.
years though. It's been years going on though. Like just
True. But the government,
just out of anything, and like not even talking about their reporting on the virus, just in general.
but the
Like these
government itself
motherfuckers have been monetizing hate and fucking violence for their own fucking gains for years, and for exactly they weaponize and politicize everything.
Yeah,
I want their
dollars
fucking
per
heads on a
book.
pike after it's all said and done. If we're gonna go like full authoritarian, like I'm coming for their scalps first.
well,
Fuck those pieces of shit.
it's been about a decade building, right, when it comes to that
Yeah.
in the media.
That's
I
what
would
I'm
say.
saying.
And so, but what I'm saying as well, though, is this situation, the media is doing what they do, right? What we've grown accustomed to, turning it into a fiasco. And what I'm seeing now, I was just driving through Atlanta, and I saw they were setting up checkpoints because they're shutting the fucking city down in a bunch of places at certain times of day, right? The National Guard is being brought into Dobbins Air Force Base. They have Lockheed Martin over here, and a bunch of fucking aeronautical engineer shit. So they have boots on the fucking ground over there by that. Like, the government never comes out of a crisis with less control. You know what I mean? So that's what I think the media needs to be held accountable for. That's the culpability that they need to be faced with, because they never relinquish the government. Like after 9/11, we lost freedoms. Some people would say we needed to lose them to do certain things, so on and so forth. But that happens every fucking time that there's something like this where the government has to step in any capacity with any level of force. That force level is never notched back down. It's just like occupation in certain places. We've still got army bases in fucking Germany. We beat the shit out of them fucking however many fucking years ago. What are we in fucking Germany for still? So what happens then, right, after this whole thing? And it's like, okay, this is a horrific virus, or it's a mean flu, or it's just a basic flu, whatever the fuck it is. After this, what's normal? That's my real curiosity.
I mean, if things don't get scaled back to out of crisis mode, like all the legislation they pass and all that stuff, then they need to be made to. And like honestly, there's things that need to change, and I hope that a lot of people they need to stop really getting on this my side is better than this side or whatever, or I'm holier than thou, and like this self-righteous sanctimonious bullshit, and realize that as a society, like in crisis, this has shown us that there are some problems that we need to fix, and there's also been shown that all the problems that these motherfuckers have been talking about have been like non-issues, like the social justice bullshit. Like a lot of that shit has gone away. Like there's no room. Like none of that shit matters. They've been non-issues. Like
you gotta get groceries and get the fuck home. Like you can't worry about that shit. You know
none of that shit matters. So like we need to take inventory as a society and really realize what matters and what doesn't. And what you're saying definitely is it's a real thing. It's like powers need to be checked and things need to be scaled back after the conflict, after the necessity of it all. You need to be like, okay, now hand back those keys, buddy. Like
right, you don't need it.
You don't need them. You don't need them anymore. Give me back those reins. You know, give them back to the people. You know, like things like that need to happen. You're absolutely right. But fuck the media, though.
But
I really detest. On the list of things I detest, I detest just the absolute insincerity and lack of ethics that the media has had for quite some time, and we just take it like that the media does what the media does. Like you said, like when are we gonna fucking start ripping these motherfuckers out of their chairs and fucking being like, you are fucking true scum, you're cancer to society, you need to fucking shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of here, or else I'm gonna put your head on a fucking pike.
It's the same thing with all these senators and Congress people. You have 70-year-old millionaires who will eventually be 90-year-old billionaires through their service to the government. They're public servants who have run amok. That's what you see over and over again. That's who's making these legislations. And then, if nothing else, this presidential election, the last one and this current one, should show us that the people who are running consistently are not the fucking best people for the job. They're not people in the prime of their life. They're people who are at a certain age where their faculties have started to fucking slow and their abilities have started to lessen. Their abilities to make decisions in a timely fashion and fucking
but their want and need for power is still there.
It's it's bloated is what it is, and they all have various. It's all a cash grab at this point, and those are the heads I believe that we need on pikes. The media is a symptom of that shit, the grossness and the way that tenure is abused in those offices. Public servants are no longer actual servants of the public at a certain level. Once you're like an alderman or above, it's no longer about what job you're doing for the people. It's about this gross fucking cash grab.
I believe that there's a real big problem in that the people that are going into politics, they have personal agendas. Like the reason why you would put a bill and stuff it with all types of side stuff, like when we were doing this relief bill for Corona. Hold on. I'm just really quick. When we were doing this relief bill for Corona, why were things for the Kennedy Center involved in it? Like, why were like, this is not a left or right thing or Democrat or Republican thing. Like, the only things that should have been in that bill should have been relief for the people, that is us, and for businesses, small businesses, and to keep the economy going. That's the only thing. That should have been a no fluff bill. It should have been able to be done in fucking 25 pages, fucking 35 pages or less.
I can explain
like
some of that
that's
stuff.
and everyone's got their fucking agendas, and it's just like
I can explain.
They need to
about that real quick. But real quick, hey, Big Schwitz, thanks for commenting. If you guys want to join the conversation, don't forget to type in the chat or leave a comment in YouTube, and we'll definitely respond to those. Sorry, he's been typing in there. And he said, as many as 56,000 people die from the flu each year. And when you calculate the lack of death that'll be created from no traffic accidents from everybody staying inside, coupled with all the fucking and baby making that'll go on, you could actually see a population spike from all this. That was from before Sorry, I was just getting that in there. But back to
Oh
the
yeah,
bill
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Back to the bill thing. So I understand what you're saying with the no fluff stuff, but unfortunately in our system, like that's like how it is. Somebody has to get something for anything to go through. However, I like the lack of transparency from both sides in what they both proposed was kind of concerning because, and when you say it should be done in 25 pages, that's just like the intro. The first, the first page is um, like your table of contents type of deal, and then there's
Yeah,
then like the next 100 pages are like an abbreviated like an abbreviated list of the whole thing, and then there's detail. So like the first bill that was put forth with by the Republicans, it was good, but there wasn't oversight built into it. What I would have liked to see in that is maybe like 500 pages of oversight. Like there was some like loose penalties for corporations not using the funds correctly, but it really seemed like there was room for abuse, like especially with the large amount that the larger corporations were getting. There was definitely room for abuse. The only thing they really covered in there was there no corporate buybacks of the stock, and a limit on a salary cap on CEOs and board members for the time being, which actually was kind of concerning because that wasn't just a while this is going on, that was like a salary cap for CEOs in general. Like this is the thing now. So like that was good and bad there too, but like but then you like you were saying then the Democrats threw this thing where they're like Green New Deals in there. Like, why is all this other stuff in there? Like you said, the Kennedy Center. And then when they came in the middle, like what I felt like was like the good thing that came out of that, there's like slightly more oversight on how the funds are to be distributed and
I think
from
I
the
think it should
left,
have been.
but there was they still got their crap in there, you know?
It should have been immediately relief for the citizens and small businesses, and then we'll sort all the other stuff out. You take care of the citizens, you take care of the small
But
businesses
you
that are
can't.
hurting the most, and then you get down to the nitty gritty and figure out how you're gonna control big business and like how you're gonna oversee how the money is spent and the penalties and all that stuff. Like that could have taken a lot more time. None of that stuff needed to be rushed. And that's what I'm saying. It's like
But you can't.
these motherfuckers, they're not serving the people. And me personally, I've never had to really rely on the government, like as far as like I've never looked to them like been like, oh, what's the government gonna do for me? Like when the president gets elected, any president, I'm like, okay, there's a president. Moving on, I gotta fucking pay my own fucking bills. I gotta fucking feed myself. I gotta make sure that I'm in charge of my own safety. You know, like no one's doing that for me. It doesn't matter who you can have the greatest president in the world, like as far as like could be unanimous. That still doesn't really affect me. So I'm just thinking about what I have to do. So I don't go about I don't see the government as a thing that's very influential and that I need to I need to rely on every second for something.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone should be reliant on it actually
that's
for every little thing.
yeah.
Well, it's communism. That's fucking commie shit.
All right, this is really where I wanted to get. This is really where I wanted to
Well,
get.
if you expect the government to just handle everything,
You're like,
that's the
oh
definition of it.
yeah,
We
you're
got
like,
here. We got here.
I'm Cuban. You don't have to like
There
talk
we
too
go.
far
That
to get
was
me to
it.
commie
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. Fucking-
That's what I wanted to hear.
okay, so I'm going to go refresh my drink, and you guys carry on about this sector because you all are far more informed about this than I am. I am.
Commie shit.
No, I'll just tell you, like politically, I'm pretty ignorant, and I'm willing to admit that. Like I don't want to act like I know and that I'm the authority on a lot of things. There's just certain things that I see.
I'm definitely not fucking either, for sure. I think
you know more than me. I mean,
Only I just know like
I
shit.
just-
My Cuban dad would rant like at holidays after a couple drinks. Like what it comes down to for me is like I enjoy the libertarian idea of like figure your own shit out. Social services should be given at the discretion of each individual community. You know what I mean? And so on and so forth. Like I would love if our taxes were like fucking itemized, like an invoice that a plumber gives you when they fix your fucking sink. You know what I mean? Really, you can look and see and pick where your fucking money goes, and like you can't.
Oh no, you can't pick where it goes, but it's
That'd be
itemized
nice.
where they spend it.
Where they say they spend it.
Yeah.
Fucks. Those fucks.
But like, you know, like I don't like him a lot of the times, but like Rand Paul actually.
I like Rand Paul. He's all right.
He's the one that's actually.
He seems like he actually
figuring
gives a
out.
fuck about America and shit.
Well, he gives a fuck about our tax money, which is like
Yeah.
really all he cares about.
Him
like,
and that guy Gowdy. Gowdy seem like they care.
Gowdy cares about like the law straight up, which is like
You talking about Trey?
yeah, Trey's
Yeah.
the fucking
That
man,
dude's
dude.
fucking. He's sharp.
Dude,
He's a sharp motherfucker.
He figured out after what, like 4 years in politics, that it was all bullshit, and no matter what he did, he couldn't make a difference, and then he quit. He didn't run for re-election in 2018. He was just
can you blame the guy?
no, like that's how you know that dude was actually trying to make a difference, like
Yeah.
100%. Like he
That
didn't.
job seems like the worst fucking job ever.
He was literally fighting Republicans and Democrats every day.
Yeah, because he was
calling
like
them
just
on their shit.
Yeah.
And he was like,
I think
got
I think
nothing
the thing,
done in 4 years. Bye.
I think the thing that frustrated him the most about it is that there's the law, and even if, as you can know the law as much as he did, at the end of the day, no one gets their comeuppance. Like, you know, like
He figured out that as soon as you get to DC, you're above the law.
yeah,
And
exactly.
that was like the opposite of his entire career. He was putting like everybody away, like without discretion. If he knew that you did the crime, like you were, and he was the prosecutor on the case, you were fucking going to prison. Like
that was his
no
gig.
question. Like, and then he tried to take that to Washington, and like the whole time he was in DC, he fought Republicans on why like marijuana is still a Schedule 1 drug. Like that's the type of guy he was too. Like, and then fucking like the average like self-identifying Democrat was like, oh no, he was just a standard Republican goon that fought for all of their dumb shit. I'm like, he was fighting to get marijuana legalized, like for 50%
Or at
of the
least
time.
or at
that he
least
was
taken off
there.
Schedule 1.
No, he just wanted it taken off all schedules in general.
Yeah,
It's
out of
just
the few, I mean, there's probably more, but definitely like
that's
whenever
just
I see in any
big
interaction
example.
with anything that I've seen him with him, I just get that whole this dude's a straight shooter. Like like
He didn't lie about anything or like hide what he was trying to say or mince words. Like what he said in front of the camera, what he said was what he would say like back home with his family or behind closed doors. That's just the kind of guy he was. Like, and that's why everybody was like in 2018 they're like, you should like run for president when you've got if you got a chance in like 2024 or whatever. And he's like, I'll never do politics again. I was like,
no, I mean,
man, like,
I don't think even if he stayed in politics, I don't think the big seat would suit him because it's just not.
people
They're
wanted
too
him,
full of shit.
people on the left and
no,
the
they
right
wanted him, but-
him more than they wanted Yang, and that's big. Like, people really wanted Yang, and then like Yang got cucked, and that was dumb. And then and of course they cucked Bernie again, which isn't so bad. But like,
I mean, like when it comes down to it, like it just proves he just didn't have a backbone for the big seat.
but
you get motherfucked 2 times in a row, and you're just gonna fucking take it like you're gonna take it like that. Like nah, like you didn't have what it takes for the big seat. But let's just fucking fast forward. Let's fast forward to 2024.
Yeah.
What I want to see Crenshaw Gabbard ticket.
Oh,
yeah,
bro.
I was talking about
That's
that.
I want to see a Crenshaw Gabbard ticket, and
rock the boat. Son.
Like as far as he's president, as vice president,
for sure.
What I want to see, I want to see Crenshaw. I want to see Crenshaw go for the big chair, and I want to see Gabbard go for VP because the reason why is if that happens like that. First of all, if that's a ticket, I'm voting on that ticket. I'm definitely voting for that ticket. And second of all, those two together, they could fucking be able to reach across the aisle and all that stuff.
They do that.
So if you had 8 years of Crenshaw and Gabbard, and then Gabbard ran for the big chair, I would fucking vote for her as well. So you'd have not only you'd have the first female vice president for 8 years, then you'd have not only she was a vice president for 8 years, then she's the president. She would be in there for fucking at least, you know what I'm saying? Like if anyone wanted to fucking see some real shit happen, that's like we're putting it here. I'm documenting this right now. Yeah. If you want to see some shit happen, that's the ticket. That's to go for.
Oh yeah, those are two doers. Those are two people who are like going to get shit done. But the problem is, I don't think they're gonna grease the right wheels. I think that's what it's all about. I don't think there's legitimate fucking people at the top of the political seats anymore. I don't think that exists. I don't think it's real. That's why I'm saying, like, you want to talk about heads on pikes? The media is a symptom of this gross cancer that's become the government. You got a bunch of these old fucks with no skin in the game because they're dead like tomorrow, and they're just feeding a power addiction where it's like, fucking, I'm wheeling and dealing, and that's my fucking juice.
It's their personal agenda. It's not the constituents' agenda.
Right. It's not service of the people. It's there's no public servants in high office anymore. I don't think. Just a bunch of assholes.
Even as bad as it is here with all the fucking shit we got going on, communism. Why do people fucking want that shit? Why do some people, not most people, but some of these fucking piece of shit fucking scumbags want fucking communism? Go. I'm making another drink. You all go at it.
This is why I want you to get like Eero on here, and then I'd get my my buddy Ian, and like we would get.
I think Eero would do it. Eero would totally do it. Because I don't think Eero wants communism. You know what I mean, per se. I think he's got that whole democratic socialist. But I don't want to speak for him. I don't know what his. But I don't think he wants full communism. But I call him a commie all the time in a loving way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the reason that people want communism, though, full-on communism, is just a simple lack of education. There's like a complete disregard for the regimes of like Pol Pot and Mao and Stalin and Khrushchev and all these fucking people who are like just super fucked up commie fucking dictators. And even now with North Korea, that guy's like caricaturized and turned into like this buffoon character, whereas like they're fucking, that's a ruthless regime, you know what I mean? And like I don't know why that group gets that weird spin, but it seems they do.
Yeah, I don't know, sorry, our stream blinked for a second.
Tech stuff with
no, I mean, like, I thought we got bumped for a second.
Oh. Thought we got in trouble.
Yeah, in which case it would just be us talking to ourselves. Yep.
Right on. Which is fine. Is fine.
So, like, the whole thing about communism, it's not a bad idea. The only problem with communism is it takes out the human aspect of it.
Yeah, you know? Like if communism would work if AI was running shit?
Yes. And even then, you know, like, AI is only as good as the person that programs it.
Right, so, the biases of the programmer.
Yeah. So, Mike, what you missed, like, we just talked general shit about communism, but what I was saying is communism is a good idea if you take out humans from the equation.
I don't know. The human element, is a problem. Like the philosophy behind it is not the problem.
No.
It's human nature. Human nature inherently.
What I was saying is I think the draw and the want in this new generation of communism and this weird fascination with it, I think, is a lack of education. I think the regimes of like Mao and Pol Pot and fucking Stalin and Khrushchev are like under like looked at, they're underviewed, they're not looked at as like how violent and destructive they were. Like the body counts are crazy. Hitler is like Bush League compared to Mao.
Oh no, he's a fucking rank amateur compared to fucking Mao Zedong.
Yeah, so it's like one of those things that I think that there's a lack of understanding of that, and that those regimes were literally governments that committed, mass homicides, mass murders.
It's teachers that were fans of the idea that are teaching kids the positive parts of it, right? And the examples of what they think is communism working, right? And not telling them about the other things.
Right.
That's
selective history.
It's selective teaching, and it's not the kids. Like the kids are being manipulated as they're growing up. Like I don't know if you've noticed this, Mike, but like when I talk to somebody that went to school in Royal Palm Beach, they're almost always pro-communism. Like a 80s kid, like people as old as us through people that were born in the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the teaching staff in the Royal Palm area is like making kids that glorify communism or even democratic socialism, which just directly leads to straight up communism, and like selling the like ideas of Bernie before he was even a thing. Like,
yeah, it's communism light.
Yeah, like they've been selling that like to people that are. What I'm saying is like our example of that is like all the kids that went to like Royal Palm High, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to know why those teachers are like allowed to continue to teach.
Well, when it comes down to it,
broader
academia is
all over though. Like
leftism has infected academia for a while now, and if you there's an old clip there's an old clip of some Russian guy who's like part of the KGB, and
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
They even you know the clip, like they had the plan, like it was literally like it was like a psyops thing, like where you like the way you would bring down America is you would
manipulate the next generation
with the leftism,
and then manipulate the next generation even more. And then by the time you get to the third generation, the two previous ones are teaching the third one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like we were like the first one. Because I remember growing up like the adults were like way anti Russia, right? And and communism was the big thing. Like we caught the tail end of Cold War anti-communism like as soon as like we were starting to become aware,
Sure.
And like so that's still in us, I think, but I still think at that point, like you were right, like the ultra socialism, communism was being like planted into the education system, but like it didn't really take hold till like the kids that were born in the 90s really started going to school. And now the kids that are like 15, but here's the thing though, like the kids that are like, I've been telling both of you this, the kids that are like let's see, they got to be like 14 now, 16, right? To like 21. Those are not 21. Like 14 to 16 to like 18 to 21. That age range kids, those kids are like they didn't grow up like the generation in between us and them. They grew up in the internet, but these kids, they grew up in like the deep web, which is like where actual factual information is, right?
Sure.
So like they're not right wing, they're not left wing, they're like super center, and like
there's cultural components to that shit as well. I think.
Yeah.
Growing up like in a Cuban area, Cuban house, whatever, like pretty hyper aware of communist, like you know what I mean, like what it is and that kind of thing. And then talk to people who are from Eastern Europe or have uncles or aunts or shit like that who came from there. It's something about people who are like further removed than third generation from wherever the fuck somebody ran from. Because
Yeah.
you talk to people from like Venezuela and places that experience this kind of shit, they're not psyched about going back. You know what I mean? Like you see a lot of old Cuban grannies with signs saying, "We're voting for Trump. We're voting for
Yeah.
Trump." They love fucking Trump because
Cubans.
Trump is the
Trump's
furthest
number
thing
one
from
fans.
fucking
Yeah.
dude. Look, a shitload of Cubans love Trump. It's
Dude,
generational.
I've
There's
never
younger
seen,
ones who don't.
I mean, not that many, but I've never seen so many people of any race like wrap their trucks in MAGA and Trump stuff. Like white people don't do that because they're scared, and you
Yeah.
know Cubans
Well,
ain't scared. You
no,
know,
not
you
enough.
know they'll roll down
Not
that
enough.
window with some white person being like, "Oh, you've got Trump on there, you hate monger," and then they'll just yell at him in fucking
Well,
Spanish.
they got the complexion for the protection because
Yeah,
when it comes down to it, if you're fucking white, you're public enemy number one.
yeah.
You're fucking the worst. You're a colonizer. Blah blah. All this fucking bullshit that they
But
fucking spew.
but back to my like third generation of communism indoctrination. I don't think it's gonna work on that age group that I was talking about before because they have the
Mm-hmm.
highest average IQ of any generation in history, and like it used to be us, and then millennials it was lower. Like the neck, not millennials, but like it used to be us, and then like the generation after us it was way lower, and then like these kids after them like are just
They've
fucking
got a boom.
the average kid is a genius
Hmm.
in comparison to the
Uh,
rest of the world. And they only seem dumb because their music is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
um,
I think that's like
that's
consistent.
gonna be
Yeah.
the
That's a through line.
But like I
The
think they're
only thing I
smart
can
enough
fucking
to
say is
not.
their music is trash.
Yeah, their music is trash. But here's the cool thing about that. They know like uh what's that fucking mumble rapper with the red beads in his hair? He was on the Sprite commercial. Mike knows who I'm talking about. Anyway,
Fuck no, I don't.
no, no, he's good. Not musically, but he's good as a human. Like he's a part of that generation, right? Cuz he was like 18 when he got famous. Um but when people are like, "What are you doing with your art?" Like you have a chance to like do a message with your art and your music, and he's like, "I'm not an artist. I'm not a musician. This is just fun, and I get to make money." I was like,
Hmm.
"That's the guy. You know, that's the guy that
Yeah, it's
like
pretty honest.
gets it, right? Yeah. I don't hang out with 14-year-olds just on the deep web."
Just
This is a guy
deep.
commenting. I'm pretty sure it's my buddy Storm, who's big schwitz. Anyway, that's like also if that's Storm, like we need to get him on here because as smart as I say these kids are, this kid is like not kid. Storm is like smarter than like 20 of them put together. He's probably like one of the fucking smartest people on the planet, and like we need to get that guy on there because on here because like he does stuff with like genetic research and like lots of medical shit. Like that's the smartest dude I know.
Right
Like
on.
if we can like if we want to talk
Could
to somebody about
shed some light
anything.
on the Rona.
I mean, I think so, but I mean just like on many things too. Dude, his Facebook is
Here's a
like legit
question.
cancer. That dude
Here's a
moved
question. I'm
from
gonna take
here
it.
to California, and like
Oof.
yeah, like but that's not even the people that are cancer. It's like the drunk people that are
Hey, dude, you
from
gotta tell them to
here.
send me a friend request.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure he's seen you on some of my posts, but like man, like
We
his
know.
wealth of like I always tell this like the people try to say like, "Oh, this person knows a lot, so they're smart." And I'm like, "That's not a marker of intelligence." Like,
Mm,
I know a lot of stuff and I'm fucking retarded, you know? Like
mm,
and I can just piece my words better together than the average person in person.
sure.
Obviously not on the keyboard. Everybody fucking hates me. People like want to fucking shoot me because
Yeah.
of the way I piece my fucking words together on the internet.
You're
But
one of the people. You're one of the people I know that I've had to like preface, like, "Oh yeah, my friend Mike Noble," and they're like, "That guy."
that
And I'm
guy,
like, "Listen, like, there's
dude.
been a lot of those conversations."
One of my favorite stories you told about me was like when my profile picture was my son crying, like eating food, and
Yes.
like you guys were at the bar where you work, Mike, and some guy was talking to you, Andrew, and he was like, "Oh, that guy has a black crying baby because he thinks all black people are crybabies, and then you guys had to be like, "Do
I
you
was like,
know that guy?"
that's his son, bro. And the guy
Yeah.
was like, wait, what? Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. That's my favorite response ever. Nuh-uh.
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 Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
But back to my buddy, like, so he has a wealth of knowledge and like his like ability to like convey it and explain it to you like takes him literally over the top of like even the average smart person.
Right on.
Like, it's ridiculous. Like,
Well, that's always something that's interesting to me, what people consider smart. Like, I'm always wary when someone's like, oh, you're smart. I'm like, oh, no.
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, no.
Dude, and also like the whole thing too is like it's kind of why like my dad and I like living in Florida. Like, we're both from California. We both got like really good California educations, right? And like I was a C and D student in California. Every single person that graduated from the high school that I went to in California, they're like they've been in Forbes. Like they're all millionaires. They're all literal geniuses, right? Same thing with my dad. He graduated like getting C's and ditching most of the time, right? And then we come here and people are like, "Oh my God, you're so smart." And I'm like, I have like a basic education from a state that actually has a good educational system.
Mm-hmm.
And like the more east I went, the more I realized like I I understand what people in places like California and New York when they say like everybody's dumb, like, but that doesn't help you get your point across. Like, they're very like I was like this, Mike. Like
That's what won Trump that election, man. That whole attitude is what
that
won
condescending
that coastal,
attitude. I was
coastal
literally
bias.
that guy. I was literally that guy. Like when there would be parties and stuff. Oh man. Oh no. Dude's talking shit. Who knows?
No. Oh,
Rollerblading crackhead in California. Yeah, I probably could have gotten better grades if I was. Yeah, like I could have done better in school, but like I wanted to have fun. Like that's the thing. Like
Sure.
if the version of me that grows up in Florida with that education doing the same things that I was doing, like fucking doing drugs and skipping and like just being a terrible kid, right? I would just be fucking like one of Joe Exotic's husbands, right? But like do that in California, and I'm like upper mid intelligence level in Florida. And honestly, most of the U.S. except for maybe like New York and like Vermont has really good education there. You know, like
There's a lot of places too that I think like are a little more sink or swim, right? Like Southern Florida, like the school system's completely sink or swim and figure it out. I was in the last class in my particular school district or whatever that you could flunk all your classes and pass all your exams.
Yeah.
And
that's
and
how I
average
graduated.
To a passing grade.
That's
how
I
fucking
graduated.
graduated.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I got through all my classes.
Yeah, man.
I would show up to class and be like, "Who the fuck are you?" And I'd be like, "Hey, I'm the guy who's gonna fucking get an A on this shit,
Yeah,
so I
man.
can fucking pass this bullshit class." But I think it's one of those things where, like, maybe in a school system like in California, where they see a kid who learns differently, maybe they give that kid a little more attention.
Yeah.
Whereas in South Florida, it's like, well, fuck you, dummy, get out of here.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit. They're tired. Teachers are angry. I
Like,
had a couple teachers who would let you fist
dude,
fight.
fucking kids are fucking assholes.
Yeah,
Like when it comes
Yeah.
down with it, dude. Anyone that becomes a teacher and fucking teaches in South, that teaches anywhere. If you teach 1 through 12, you should be immediately applied for statehood.
Well,
'Cause
junior high, you should
Kids
get
are
double
fucking
everybody else's pay.
assholes.
Yeah.
Junior high, you should get
And
double
actually-
everybody else's pay because all those kids are all fucking horned up, but they don't know where to put it yet, and they're like,
In Florida, they know
Junior
where to
high.
put it. In Florida, they know where to
Junior
put
high,
it for sure.
There
I do-
was some knocked up girls
Like,
in my
yeah,
junior
yeah,
high.
I
like-
do love
It's a high rate of teen pregnancy of
I
junior
do
high
love that
pregnancy in
fucking-
Florida.
that parents get to see what monsters their fucking children are right now.
Oh, bro.
That all their kids are home, that they get to fucking experience how much of a fucking asshole
Always.
their fucking kids are.
I feel really fortunate because my kid is a pretty chill kid. She's had some tantrums here and there because she's fucking like cooped up and bored, and it's just me and her mom. She can't see any of her friends and all that shit. But fucking, I think of some people who I know, and I'm like, man, their kids might fucking suck. Like you might drown one and be like, the Rona got him. Like there's a couple people I wouldn't even blame them.
My kid's the fucking devil. I wouldn't be surprised if like.
But
my
your
son,
kid's like 2, right?
Yeah.
They're supposed to be the devil.
I
He's
know.
just figuring out. He's probably like grabbing his dick real hard for no reason and all kind of shit like that. When they're that age, they just fucking destroy everything. It's amazing.
Dude, he was jumping on the couch yesterday, and like he did that Tekken move where they do a somersault in the air and they like hammer kick the heel of their foot in your face.
Yeah.
I was just sitting there and he was bouncing like regular, and then he just jumps up, somersaults, kick to my face, and I was like, oh. And he's big, dude. He's as big as a 4-year-old because like I'm a giant. And he's half black, so he's just gonna grow like a fucking oak tree. Dude. Also,
yeah, it's crazy.
The last time I talked
humans.
about violations, we've made worse Twitch violations.
Oh.
Continue.
Hey, life.
So, yeah.
That's life.
You know what I'm gonna do too? I'm gonna.
What can you do?
Yeah.
I've
I've had to reload the comments. I'll see if I can load the comment log and also put that like in the comments for the YouTube, because I'm pretty sure it's Storm, the way he's called me out for being a crackhead in California and rollerblading.
That's pretty funny.
And then also
rollerblading. You're rollerblading?
Yeah.
That's fucking gay.
Worst violation.
It was fun for a
That was
weekend.
really good. That was the other thing too.
Yeah,
Like
Bill Burr was like, dude, everyone's rollerblading, and the whole industry is brought down.
here's
The someone was like, that's gay, and there's no rollerblading anymore.
listen.
Bill Burr, talk about living legends there. Bill Burr is fucking amazing.
Tremendous.
Dude, we definitely need to get Storm on here because he's like, then Mike was the champion of gay. Yeah. So
listen, man, we all had our gay. I played Dungeons and Dragons and shit with
That's
a bunch of
not
my
gay.
fucking friends.
That's not.
You're pretending in a library. I don't know.
That's cool now, though. You don't need to
I
pretend
guess.
in a library.
Didn't feel cool back then, because I was like also, you know, a fucking little thuggish kid or whatever. So I had like 2 friend groups that were like completely different. And then I hung out with guys on the wrestling team, like Tommy Donuts was on the wrestling team and shit. Fucking, it's a weird combo. They don't mix. What's that?
No, you never let you're like, I'm a man of very many social circles,
Yeah.
and every time I try to mix them, it ends in catastrophe. Don't ever try to mix them. Like, you may be like blessed that you can navigate between them at will, and everyone likes you and all that stuff. I have that, but if you ever try to fucking blend them, there's a reason why they don't talk to each other. And my God,
That's why
you're like, you know what? I think these people can get along. And then I fucking bring them together. I'm like, who did
That's why James doesn't introduce me to his friends, his new friends.
Well, I
know that.
don't introduce a lot of my friends to like my wife's work circle of friends, because they're all very like, you know, they work in a corporate environment, so a lot of the time they're very measured in the shit they say, the way they speak, and I'm pretty fucking off the wall comparatively. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I'll talk about eating ass on acid. Like, I don't mind like fucking getting real with it.
And
Some of them love it. Some of them are like, this guy's fucking hilarious. He's amazing. They want to sit by me at the fucking, you know, dinner at the fucking shindig. But I also gotta like rein it in myself, where I gotta be like, all right, fucking take it easy. Don't be fucking too crazy.
One thing I've noticed about my wife, since we since we got engaged, like, she used to just like whatever person would like want to hang out with her at work, she would be friends with them. And then now, like, as she like starts describing like new friends from work or people that she's like good friends with now from work, I'm like, you're just hanging out with me. That's a woman. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. We can all hang out now. Like, I love that.
I say that about Mike and my wife all the time. They have the exact same taste in like music, fucking movies and shit.
Nice.
They like the exact same shit.
Nice.
Well, that's because your wife is awesome, man.
Yeah,
She's
man.
pretty cool. She's pretty cool.
That's what I'm saying.
I like her so far.
So Storm commented it wasn't so much the rollerblades as the tights that I wore while rolling.
Oh my God, Storm!
Hey,
if you have pictures, of that
he
shit,
didn't know me,
send
man.
them to me.
No,
Michael Morrison, Mykal at Gmail.
I have pictures.
I did no-gi jiu-jitsu, and I did Muay Thai back in the day of like the fucking tights. There are some pictures out there of me with that fucking ham hock really fucking showing, and a certain that young fucking camel knuckle was strong back then.
Listen, I didn't wear tights. I literally wore caffeine pants exclusively.
What is a caffeine pants?
You remember
the fuck is that?
Remember Jankos?
I do remember Jankos.
These were like a
you're talking about caffeine brand.
Yeah,
I thought that was a type. Like, I'm a fashionista, and I was like, caffeine pants?
Yeah.
The fuck do those do?
Caffeine brand pants. They were just polyester versions of Jankos. And black shirts, you know, and I looked like I could be in Lincoln Park because I was in like a Lincoln
So did you look like you were floating on your rollerblades?
Yeah, I did. It was really gay. Yeah. That was it. And that was what I looked like. I looked like I went to raves all the time because I did. I was just eating an excessive amount of ecstasy and rollerblading.
Right on.
That was like the scene. Like the skateboarders were like trying, and the rollerbladers were like, let's get fucked up and fucking try to do that skateboard stuff on skates.
I sucked at skating. I never was good at it. I don't have the build for it, I don't think.
I can rollerblade really well. Skateboarding, I couldn't get ollieing down, and then
I could skate. I could like roll forward. You know what I mean? Like that was all right, but like I could never do no tricks. Fuck that shit. Fuck that. I hit a couple people with a skateboard when I was a kid. I fucking used the skateboard as a bludgeon in the past, but never fucking was a good skater.
I was way too tall to be really good. Like I was good for.
Fuck that. Tony Hawk is tall.
No, rollerblades is like way different. The best people in the world are like 5 foot even. Like.
Just like breakdancers.
Yeah, like because you can ball up real easy and like manipulate your feet easier because you got short, stubby legs.
Gabe, my good friend Gabe and my fucking old bass player for FLA, he used to rollerblade to and from work. He worked in like Blue Heron or some shit like North West Palm area and lived in like the Lake Worth, Palm Springs area. He would fucking GoPro the whole shit, and it would be insanity. He would like send you a video, and it would just be like first person, like sure, fucking all over the street, cars almost sitting there. He'd be like, "Fuck you!" Yelling at people, hobos fucking with him grabbing the back of the bus and fucking skating on that shit. He was a goddamn lunatic. He was great on it. He would skate everywhere. He would go down to Miami to kick it with my brother at night after he got off of work, hang out with my brother all day, skate to the train station after partying all night, take the train back up to West Palm, and then skate his ass to work. And fucking like a goddamn lunatic. Gabe was a fucking monster back in the day.
Yeah, Gabe's a fucking good dude.
Fucking the best. He used to travel with me.
He's still on the boats, right? He's still working, right?
He's home right now, I think.
He's home right now?
Yeah. He fucking used to train jiu-jitsu with me. We would do no-gi tournaments, and Gabe was always trying to cut weight. So we would go to these tournaments, drive cross state, cross country, wrapped in plastic bags with fucking sweats all over us, and fucking dying in the car with the heat on and the bitch. Fucking Gabe was a fucking animal. I forgot how we got on that subject, but that's what happens.
Rollerblade.
Fucking rollerblade. But Gabe used to rollerblade. That's what it was.
Yeah, Storm
Gabe used to
rollerblade. When I come up there, though, next time I come up there, I know you're coming down. When I come up there, I'll have to go to your jiu-jitsu class with you.
Yeah, I have to get back to my jiu-jitsu class. I haven't done it since before NOLA.
I'll definitely be rolling with you and like whoever, because I'm like 300 pounds. So
yeah, I'm like, bro. I fucking went to NOLA and ate like I think I had Corona in fucking NOLA. Like when I came back from NOLA, I was sick as a fucking dog, right? And even before that, New Year's, my whole family got sick, and friends that came to visit us, we all got really sick. And when you got kids, man, they just spit right in your fucking mouth. They slobber in your drink. They give you everything. You get if zombies happen, and you got kids, you turn into a fucking zombie.
The problem is, like, you know, like a lot of people, they may have gotten sick, but that could have been influence. Hey, man, like this is different. It's got a very acute respiratory fucking
This was
element.
this
And that's
was a
why.
test cold as well. This was a fucking nasty. But anyway, I don't know who the fuck knows. But what I'm saying is, fucking since then, speaking of being fat, fucking I meant to get back to jiu-jitsu. I had been, down in Florida, then going to NOLA with you boys, like having such a good time. Like, I'm going to get back to it. Then I get home and I'd be lazy for a week and like hang out with the kid extra, pick her up early from school and all that kind of shit. Make sure I'm taking her more than usual. Giving Eva some time since I had been gone for a couple weeks. Fucking boom, coronavirus. I'm like, I'm destined to be fat forever. So I've been meaning to get back to jiu-jitsu. When you come, I'll bring you, man. It's the best. It's the best.
Yeah, speaking of jiu-jitsu, I definitely want to try. I got some bottom work ideas that I got, and I got like a really good one that I think will be like a game changer. Like no bullshit. Like I'm really big on like on physical mechanics and stuff like that. And like I just been running through. I've been running through this one thing like that you can work from the bottom.
Bottom?
Power bottom. Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where you could submit anyone from the bottom. It's like that good.
Well,
it's
I'm not gonna say the name of my gym because I'm smoking and shit. I don't want them to be associated with anything they don't want to be associated with.
Yeah,
but
of course.
The guys there. I mean, if you got a concept, you throw it at the professor of my school, you'll find out fast as fuck if it's viable or not. You know what I mean? Like the dudes there. I'm fortunate enough because I'm a bigger dude. I get the opportunity to roll with a lot of like higher belted guys, man. It's great. It's really like swimming with a bunch of sharks. It's really fun.
And if you want some tips on like power bottoming, I know a guy in Oklahoma. Trump's trying to get him out of prison. You want some power bottoming?
Fucking Joe.
Bring it all around.
Fucking Joe. Yeah, man. Well, shit, boys. I think that's a show, huh?
Yeah, man. That was good.
No, wait. You gotta hit that chord, bro.
The what? Oh, shit. You're right. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. These guys are a band. You should check them out.
I'm very fortunate enough to have Mike as my fucking partner in crime. How did that one start again?
Sometime.
Yeah, you might.
Maybe.
Tell all the hunters to lay down their guns. Tell them that the tiger use a little love. 'Cause I saw a tiger. Now I understand. I saw a tiger. And the tiger saw me.
I just got the tiger pulled up on the screen for you.
Free Joe Exotic.
Free Joe. But seriously, I'm gonna fucking.
Although he might be having fun in prison if he's a power bottom.
Yeah. I don't know who's going it. Like, who's going in on that?
He might be rubbing Skittles on his lips. And
Who's going in on that? I don't know.
They know what he's got.
There's a lot of types. You feel me?
That's all.
He's just rocking it back, telling them tiger stories while they're throwing it into him. Fucking.
All right, I almost threw my peanut butter pretzel in my mouth.
All right.
Hey, I'm down to do this. I'm down to do this a couple times a week, boys. We should fucking do
man.
that soon.
I already know a few people that would want to be on, and if we could get.
Yeah, bring them on. I'm only good for like once every 2 weeks. Like I'm like tapped out. Like
we can alternate.
I have to go back in my cocoon and like sleep.
Go through some shit. Wait, I've been working on a drawing the whole time that we've been fucking talking.
Oh,
so
God. That's awesome.
Whoever shares our shit will randomly pick. Like Mike, you can arbitrarily pick an amount of time, and whoever shares our shit will pick a person at random, and we'll fucking send it to them.
Nice.
A little original drawing.
So what I'll do is when I post the video, after this point, I'll come on and explain like how we're gonna do that and track that.
Cool.
All
right, boys.
Okay, so
love you. Everybody stay safe from
the guys. Everyone stay healthy. Stay safe.
Make sure you got ammo and canned goods, motherfuckers.
I got a hatchet. I'm good.
There you go.
All right.
Hickory, baby. Oh, Hickory.
Bye.
Later, boys.
Bye.
Be safe.
Bye
Hey guys,
bye.
it's Mike, and if you want to enter in to get that drawing that Andrew showed at the end there, just go ahead and leave a like on this, and go ahead and leave a comment below, and I will pick one of those at random, and I'll be in contact with you, get your information, and we'll have him send that out to you. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Bye.